Hello everybody and welcome to another Breaking Character, a series where I take an idea and use race, class, and items to push it to its limits. Today we're going to put paladins to shame and find out the highest possible AC. With that said, let's start with ability scores. The only scores we're going to need for this build are intelligence and dexterity, which will give the 15 and 14 respectively. Assign your other scores how you wish, but constitution would be smart. For race, we're going to take semi-hybrid, taking everything that comes with it and putting our increases into intelligence and dexterity. Our animal enhancement won't matter here, so take whatever. For class, we're going to start with 4 levels of Blade Singer Wizard. We'll get an ability score improvement out of this, which we'll put into intelligence. Not that it matters which one, because we'll be capping it and dexterity by the end of this. The rest of our levels are going into Artillerist Artificer. The main thing we're here for is Fortified Position, which will give us a +2 to AC with half cover. And yes, I'm counting it because you should have your cannons out for every battle. Otherwise, what are you doing? Why are you playing an artillerist? We'll also use one of our 4 ability score improvements for Defensive Duelist, and the other 3 to, as I said, cap our intelligence and dexterity. This will give us a +5 base increase from dexterity, as well as another +5 from intelligence with Blade Song, and another +6 as a reaction. We also get our second animal enhancement, taking Carapace for another +1. We'll also need either Haste or Shield of Faith for another +2. Now it's time for items, and we're going to start with the Robe of the Archmagi, which will make our base AC 15 plus dexterity. Next will be the Bracers of Defense for another +2, the Cloak of Protection for +1, and the Ring of Protection for another +1. Lastly, we'll take the Defender in the form of any viable finesse weapon for another potential +3. Aren't Artificers great? So what we're working with is a base 15 AC from the Robe, +5 from Dexterity for 20, +5 from Blade Song for 25, +6 from Defensive Duelist for 31, +2 from Haste or Shield of Faith for 33, +3 from Defender for 36, and an accumulative +7 from Carapace, the Bracers, the Ring, the Cloak, and Fortified Position for 43. Just to put this into perspective, the 3 currently statted creatures in 5e with the highest hit modifier are Tiamat, Orcus, and the Tarrasque with a +19 each. This means that a natural 20 would only add up to 39, meaning if a nat 20 didn't count as an automatic hit, then nothing short of a Marut would be able to physically touch you. Now that doesn't mean that this build is invincible. It has 3 glaring weaknesses, the first of which is the fact that AC don't mean shit to AoE. The second is that a nat 20 is an automatic hit, which means that if something does hit, it's gonna hit hard. For this reason, I recommend foregoing Haste or Shield of Faith and instead concentrating on Blur to give this advantage. If they somehow roll double 20s, they've earned it. Just make sure the DM lets you see the dice. The third weakness is HP. With only a +1 to Constitution, your average HP is 118, which any high CR monster will tear through with ease. Hell, a Marut only needs 3 punches, and it won't take much damage to put you into power word kill range, which, let's face it, if you try to do this, you deserve it. I also want to give credit where it is due and say that this build originally didn't include Artificer or Semi-Hybrid. I added those in after being reminded of Carapace, Fortified Position, and extra attunement slots by Tulok's recent Naked video. That bumped my maximum up by a whole 5, and I never would have thought of it. Hell, if anyone could beat my number, it would probably be him. One more thing, and this is going to depend on how your DM rules things. Blade Song specifically says it doesn't work if you are using a shield. A more lenient DM may let you circumvent this with the animated shield since you don't actually hold it once you activate it, meaning you could swap out the cloak for another +1, as if we needed it. The key thing here is that the ability says using a shield, not holding, so again, ask your DM. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments, and I'll see you all next week when I make Blastoise from Pokemon.